Welcome one, welcome all, welcome to their exciting video series we're putting together here. This one has been sort of a long time coming, I guess. We have not done Crusader Kings yet. We've done all these other Paradox games. Crusader Kings is like the white whale. It's like this game with so much needed knowledge, even more so than Europa Universalis or Hearts of Iron, even more maybe than Hearts of Iron 3. You gotta understand the feudal succession laws to really play it effectively. So we're going to try to explain it a little bit as we go through here today, but the interesting twist we're taking on this, because this is such a character-driven game, we've got some rules about how we're going to play this game. We're not going to play it as optimally as we possibly can, because arguably it becomes a fairly easy game if you start early on and you just play it perfectly optimally. You can just get this giant empire by the end. So that's why some people don't like the early bookmarks, is because it becomes too easy to just blob into this giant thing by the end of the game. But what we're going to do is take advantage of this character system and try to role play our character a little bit. We're not going to do the optimal thing if our character wouldn't do that thing. If our character is envious, then we might decide to take certain options and events that are bad for us but represent this trait. If our character is kind, maybe they let the prisoners go instead of ransoming them, or instead of executing them, for example. The other thing that I want to do is sort of take advantage of this attribute system. You have these 5 attributes: diplomacy, martial, stewardship, intrigue, and learning. And what we're going to do with those is say this, along with the current focus, dictates what our actions, our focus is going to be for a given 5-year period. And the way this is going to work, and I typed out some rules for myself, but generally speaking, event choices have to be represented somehow by our traits or our strengths and weaknesses here. And what we choose to spend our gold on is dependent upon what we're strong in or what we're focused on for a given period. So we'll explain more about how that works as we get into it. Who are we playing? Well, we're going to be playing as Scotland, and we're going to be starting here in 936. It's not the earliest bookmark. I believe the 1066 bookmark is the official, main starting bookmark, and they sort of expanded it backwards as they unlocked certain expansion packs. But this gives us, as Scotland, a little bit of time to consolidate our empire before the Normans invade, if indeed that is what happens. And it's a little bit more difficult than the 700 start that I've played in the past with Scotland, because in the 700 start, England is not a united kingdom, really. It might be some, I don't remember exactly, but there are a bunch more. Sort of Northumbria is its own thing. There's a bunch of dukedoms, duchies, whatever you want to call them, that they're down there all fighting each other. Now it's this big united front. And what's more, when you play Scotland from the 700s or so, you can upgrade from a tribal culture to a feudal culture fairly quickly in 100 or 150 years. It's now 200 years later, and every single one of these territories is still a tribal culture, which is significantly lower income. This one's actually a bishopric, I believe. Bishopric. So it's a bit of a challenge, actually. So we are going to start as the King of Scotland, because I haven't played that much of this game, and I don't want this series to end with me getting my head chopped off by the actual king for trying to usurp him, but that's no guarantee that it's going to go well. Hello, Carnifax. Hello, James Yak. Mr. Tales of Heroes veteran. Tales of Heroes. That goes back. You know what? I just found my DVDs for that. I made a DVD of the Tales of Heroes thing. I never was able to sell it, but I made one, and it was kind of cool. Anyway, let's jump into the game. So here's how we're going to track this. In the bottom right corner, you can see I've got this little active attributes thing, and I'm also going to pull up a random dice roller in my other screen and use that for a couple different options. The Wizards of the Coast one is fine. It's just right there. You can just hit. So the only 2 dice I'm going to use is a D6 and a D20. And what we're first going to do is roll a D6 to figure out what our focus is. because we're first going to choose between one of the 5 subcategories, and then I think maybe I'll let myself choose between the 2 options that we get. So obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 is my choice. So there is a situation where I can get what I want. So here's the roll. It's a 5. So learning is going to be our focus. Now, with our current situation, do we want theology or scholarship? I think theology might be better. Getting the temple vassals' opinion up is significantly helpful in getting them to pay me. You can see that the Bishop of Fortingal here, Rory, he's actually paying his tithes, his taxes to the Pope because he likes the Pope better than me. But if I dedicate myself to theology, I believe, and we let time start ticking, he will like me more and pay his taxes to me instead. So that's pretty important. So we're going to go with theology for a while. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and make it clear that learning is our main attribute. Now, what does that mean? Let's go check out, let's go to the videotape, so to speak. We have here a couple of interesting rules that I've made here, but specifically learning is I can spend gold on hospital buildings and any buildings that give us tech without issue. I can do that whenever I want. If I want to spend gold on anything else, I've got to roll a die and see if it's effective. So that is where we're standing right now, and 5 years from now, we'll choose a new focus. Now, if our character has an attribute of 10 or greater, then he can do that specific thing whenever. So if they're very good at stewardship, they can do that whenever. So that's an interesting choice that we're going to have to make. So let's jump right into it. So we're going to start time ticking, and I'm going to... There we go. Bring it up to 3 here. As we assess our situation. So our situation is that we have... Let's see. We have 4 for our domain sides. And you can see that's these light green ones. Those are our domains. We have direct control over these 4 counties, is what they're called. So you can see that because we got my portrait right there. These 2 counties are part of our kingdom, but they're controlled by someone else. They're controlled by the Duke of Moray, Chieftain of Moray, but it's technically Duke. We just haven't upgraded yet. So you can also kind of understand the way this works because you can see a little dotted line there, and we've got our large Scottish shield here, and then you can see the Duke shield of Moray here. And figuring out how to navigate this interface is a whole other challenge, so I'm not going to try to explain everything in one whole thing. But what we need to do to upgrade to feudalism, which I think should be our first goal, is upgrade this earthen hill fort to a stone hill fort. First we got to go to a wooden hill fort, then to a stone hill fort. And those are probably the most important things to do, but that's really a stewardship thing. So if I want to do that, I'll have to make a quick roll with a... what did I say? Basically another D6 to see if I can spend gold somewhere other than learning. And if I can, I just got to wait. Another very important thing. We got to find we got to find a wife. We got to have kids. We do have an heir. We do have a son, but having a wife helps us a lot in these attributes. So let's find one. She gives us half of her attributes onto ours. And what do we really need to shore up on? I think stewardship. So let's try that. Chaste. Oh no! We're dead already, people! I didn't even get a chance. I should have paused it. Okay, I guess it doesn't matter. We're going to get to choose a new focus and everything. So the lone son inherits everything. So we didn't really have to worry about any problems with the inheritance going to get split up amongst multiple siblings. So that's good. And this guy, King Indulf, has a son as well. Let's actually open up our tree here and take a quick look. Not that. This is the one we want. Nope, that's not that either. Bingo. Gonna pause that. Okay. So we were this guy, Constantine. Now we're Indulf, and he actually has 3 sons, which I believe means that if we look at our current succession laws, we're probably going to wind up splitting up the realm here. Oh, it's a tanistry already. So no, we're not going to split up the realm. Tanistry means that when the king dies, they leave all of their domains, all of their counties, all of their vassals, etc., all of their titles to a single person, but that person is voted on by all of the vassals, including myself, all of the nobles in the court that have titles. And so it looks like they've chosen my kinsman, somebody else from my family line, and it has to be somebody from my family line, right? The royal line. So that guarantees that one of my royal blood will become the next king or queen. And right now, they're voting for this guy. So I can use this to look and say, hey, which of these people is actually worthy of succeeding me? So here's me, Kenneth. Am I Kenneth? No, I'm King Indulf. Oh, King Indulf isn't on here, of course. So Kenneth is the current favorite among the single vassal that we have here that can vote. And that's not a bad choice. A 15 martial and a 12 stewardship and a 12 learning would give us a lot of choices. So I'm going to back that. He's like my uncle or something until my sons grow up, and then maybe I'll try to swing my sons into play if they're better. So okay, now we know what's going on there. But somehow he had 3 sons and no wife. This is interesting. I assume they're not bastards, but let's find out. Now, he's almost there on martial, but he really needs a lot of stewardship. So let's see if we can search for a wife that has a high stewardship value. Wow, nobody really has a high stewardship value. This is a deceitful but just, brave but greedy, underhanded rogue. And that seems like a good idea. Now, marriages also give you these non-aggression pacts, but to be honest, I'm not sure that matters based on where we are. Unless we were to get a non-aggression pact with England, none of these other non-aggression pacts matter. A lot of these are like, okay, with Patrician Federico de Verona, that's like down in Italy somewhere. Like, I don't care. I don't need a non-aggression pact with somebody in Italy. They can't fight me, so it doesn't matter. But I think we need to look at the big picture here, because we also need to look at these other traits. We're going to gain half of the traits of our partner, and it looks like Gwilades is, even though she's 24, she's got much better stats, and that could be beneficial. It would also mean that she is in the line of succession, actually, for something, so that's kind of interesting. And what is that for? That goes down to a piece of England. Down here, it looks like. Or Wales. So why don't we do that? Maybe we'll just inherit that title somehow to her sons. We'll inherit the title from her. So we're going to see. Now, because it says opinion is 4, I believe, that means that we should be able to... I didn't hit the right button there. Yes, she says she will do it because, hey, it's a lot of prestige from marrying into a kingdom. Now, we're going to lose a little prestige because we're marrying just a courtier. It's not like the princess of somebody, but her stats are great, and, you know, we're marrying for love, right? Not really. So, we're marrying for the stats. Okay. He desires to get married. He'll gain 10 piety when he gets married. That's good. Now, we didn't actually look. He's an amateurish plotter. He's arbitrary. He's patient, he's humble, and he's brave. So now we're going to start ticking until we gain the response from the wife, hopefully, here. There it is. We're getting married. We now need to collect a royal aid duty to pay for the ceremonies. Do we collect it, or do we reject it and gain some prestige? I don't think any of these suggest one way or the other. Humble, actually. Humble means... that... What would humility do for us here? This seems like, no, we need to show them how rich we are. That's not humble. But at the same time, throwing a great wedding is also not humble. Just, brave, amateurish plotter. I think the arbitrary nature is going to have to come in here. I'm just going to roll a die. So odds will go with take the gold. Evens will go the other way. We got a 5. That's odd. So we'll take the gold. Alright, so now that we've got that settled, we should get this free piety, and it'll tick over in a second. There we go. Fulfilled the ambition to get married. So now we're going to have to choose a new ambition. A bunch of different options. Create a treasury. He gains a stewardship when he's successful, and you have to have 3 artifacts of at least quality 2 in the treasury. So that's an interesting choice. Make a friend. That usually requires us to choose a specific focus. So maybe we'll wait and see what our focus is before we choose an ambition. So let's roll that random die to see what our focus is going to be here. And the wife has given us the stats here. You can see spouse is adding to our state, martial, state diplomacy, state stewardship, etc. All right, so we're going to roll the random die and see what we get. We got a 2, which means martial of some kind. So, hunting or war? Personal combat skill. Let's get some +1 health here. We don't want somebody to die right away. I think that's probably an important piece of this. So now let's update our situation here, because martial is now our main stat that we can do whatever we want with. We can spend gold as long as it's towards the martial purpose. So now we're going to pick an ambition. And a war chest isn't a bad idea. If we can gain, let's see, 700 if ruling a kingdom. Well, we're not going to get 700 gold. That's just not going to happen. That would take an entire lifetime of a king at our current income level. We're just too poor up here. Grooming an heir. Fertility's increased. We've got a lot of heirs, and I don't think we need it. Maybe getting piety way up there wouldn't be a bad goal. Seeing the realm prosper is always a good one. All we have to do is stay at peace for 5 years. It's kind of at odds with the war footing. So maybe we make a friend choice. Hey, we gain diplomacy if we can do it. Temporary and full. You know what? Let's try this treasury thing. Let's try it. I know it takes some time and money to make those artifacts, and I'm not necessarily going to make that going to be a thing, but we'll give it a shot. All right. So now we're going to let time tick again. Once we figure out one title can be created, we don't need to make the Duchy of Albany, I don't believe. Which duchy is that? Oh, that's this duchy. It's the duchy I'm in. So creating that title costs a lot. I can absolutely create it. And it would give me prestige for owning the title. So it's not a bad thing to do at some point, but we don't need it right now. We're just directly controlling all of these things anyway. So we don't need to worry about that one. Dismiss. We can press de jure ducal claims. The following de jure ducal claims can be pressed. We can go after Ross. Okay, because this guy is our High Chief / Duke of Moray. And Moray, it's... oh, that's interesting, yeah. High Chieftain of Moray is the duchy. So, throughout recent history, over the last several hundred years, and Catanis have been part of this region, have been part of this duchy. They are not currently, because they're not controlled by us. They're controlled by these Norwegians or whatever they are, the Vikings that have taken over that upper area. So we could press that claim if we think we can win the war, and therefore give this duke another piece of territory. Now, you could argue whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but who owns this? Let's see. So it's actually, so in some of the games I've seen, Norway actually controls this area, but it looks like this guy just controls this area. Like he's some Viking that came over here and started a new area, and he's no longer connected to main Norway. He doesn't owe anything over there. So we could probably win the war against them. Now, what could we spend money on to improve our odds? We can't spend money on a training ground or a war camp or any of these things. That actually requires prestige, which we can get by winning wars. Our retinue size goes up if we build an earth hill fort. And hill forts are about military, so that's probably one we want to do. But before we do that, I'm going to try to get a market village. So I'm going to try to make a sort of skill check here. And it's basically a 1 in 3 chance that I can spend it in a different direction that I want. So, let's see. I'm looking for a number 3 or a number 6. I got a number 1, so I did not make it. So now I have to spend some money in the way I didn't want to. But that's okay. It's still progress. We're going to spend some money on an Earth Hill Fort here. It's a big chunk of our treasury, but it gets us closer to a feudal system, which is much more profitable. All right. Now, what is our military situation here? Speaking of that, we don't have any retinue because we don't have any retinue size. Retinue is our personal private army, like our personal knights that are always available. They cost a little bit of money to maintain, and you can only maintain so many of them based on the size of your castles. But right now we have no ability. We have 0 retinue size, but the Earth and Hill Fort that we just created is going to give us a little bit of a retinue size. So maybe we can get one of these later. Oh no, I'm sorry, there it is. Retinue cap usage. So we could, if we had the money, hire one of these, I believe. Oh no, it costs prestige. It doesn't cost money right now. It costs prestige. So that's something to consider when we get some more prestige. Now, oh, we want to set the crown focus. That's an important piece. Crown focus is going to help increase the prosperity of this area. And the prosperity just makes everything better, so that's good. Special minor title grantable. I'm going through a little bit slow, by the way, guys. We'll go faster as I remember how to play this game. We got to get childhood focus. This is our son. What kind of childhood focus is he going to get? Let's do pride. Why the hell not? I know there's more optimal choices. I'm kind of just going in here. Whatever. Making it more interesting. Thrift. One son might be learning more about war. The other might be learning more about monetary situation. So now we need to check out the council and what they're doing for us here. So we did check this, and unfortunately, while the previous king was very well respected by the clergy, this one is not. And it's even before we factor in the fact that he's not praying a lot. Geez, his learning is atrocious. It's really bad. But he's also just not very pious. His piety is, which one of these is it? There's a 21. So I could probably stand to have one of my court chaplain could go try to improve religious relations right here. And that will hopefully convince the bishop there to like me more. So we'll see. We'll see. St. Andrews, this is Dunkeld. So Dunkeld, it's close. We're only behind by about 30, or by about about 28. So, yeah, if we can catch up, that would be great. The short reign modifier is going to go away after a while. The arbitrary nature does make them not like us very much. They don't like having a upper manager who's arbitrary. That's fine. So what else are we going to do with this council? We've got to send our chancellor somewhere. He could be improving relations with our vassals. That's just happening automatically. Now, I don't think we have a problem with our vassal because I'm pretty sure, yeah, okay, the vassal has about 53% of all of our levies. So maybe we got to make sure he continues to like us. So I'm going to leave the chancellor working on that. I think that's a good idea. Organizing the army could get us better commanders. Retinue maintenance goes down. Suppressing revolts. Training troops increases our levy size temporarily. So when that happens, that's great if we're going to go for a war or something. For plunder and glory, they will get angry and take your gold instead. You know, I've never actually used this, so let's see what happens when we do it. We'll try to go raid these guys before we go to war with them and see what happens. All right, our steward is improving our domain, increasing culture conversions chance, and prosperity gain. That's always a good one, but we could also just have him settle members of your tribe in the county, increasing the chance that its culture will change to Scottish. I think actually we already have Scottish as the culture in all of these areas. Previously on Crusader Kings, the Pictish changed to Scots. So we don't have to worry about that at all. Oversee construction. Local build time mod goes down. Meet a master builder maybe. Build a legend. Those are all good. Yeah, I think we'll just leave him on administering the realm. Okay. And then our spy master. Oh, we definitely want them to study technology in the Byzantine Empire. Like, that's what you gotta do. It's just so much more advanced than you are. And it's important. Okay. So, we're done there. We did the chapel and did everybody else. So, good to go. We don't care about that. Council's discontent. This means if council is prohibited by law from forming and joining whatever. Okay, now we're going to move on. And I can actually go back and read the chat now that I've remembered how to do everything. I think I've covered everything. How many hours have I played CK2? Let's ask Steam if I can find it. Okay, it's paused there. Let's do a quick check. 121 hours, it says, is what I've played of CK2. By the way, I am using a few mods, and if you want to see what those are, this is the list. These are the ones I'm using. You'll hear some different music tracks from this one. The buttons are colored. This fixes a bug that's for some reason never been fixed. The borders are nicer, easier to read, bigger interface. That's pretty much it. They're just interface mods for the most part. It doesn't really change much. So that is what you see there. Oh no! I don't think we have we don't have a doctor. Where do we get a new doctor? Usually it's in here, right? Search for a smith. Maybe we're too late. Because we don't have a court physician and we don't have any candidates for a court physician. Phew. Seek a tutor. Invite a holy man to court. I thought there was usually a decision here to invite to search for a new leecher man. A new court physician. I guess we just got a fever, guys. That's just what's happening. We're gonna just burn through. Oh no, we got cramps. We're gonna burn through all of our leaders in the first year. Now we got vomiting. Come on, hang in there, King Indulf. I mean, we can invite a holy man, but I'm not sure that helps us. Oh boy. Okay, we got food poisoning. I swear there's a search for court physician decision that I'm missing here. And I don't know why it would be not there. Usually the trigger is when you don't have a court physician, it's over there. But somebody will know, I'm sure. Hello, Jabrui. Yes, it will be on this YouTube later if you'd like to see that. Hello, Adalric. All right, we no longer have food poisoning. We're not dying immediately this time. Good deal. So again, our current focus is... I gotta remove learning, actually, don't I? From here. We're not all about learning. We're only about martial. So all our spending is going to be on the martial end of things. Now, what's our income here? It's really, really bad. Like 1 gold a month is incredibly weak, which is partly why we need those taxes from the bishops here. So this is the one we're trying to make like us a little better. The short reign is going to go away, so we'll get +9 over time. Personal diplomacy is not great. We could bribe him to get about a +10, but one of the choices that I've decided to make is if you're going to spend gold on something, you have to be able to do it, and we don't have diplomacy. Personal diplomacy is how we would use the bribes, and that just doesn't... that dog just don't hunt. Now, what's going on over here? Is he raiding without declaring war? It looks like that's the case. Yeah, this is just a raiding army. raiding the my vassal, and I don't think I can do anything about it. I mean, let's take a look at what my largest levy would be. You know, I can do something about it. Let's bring them all together and go hunt these guys. You can't just come in and raid my vassal without, you know, having problems. So we're going to go in here, we're going to fight him, and hopefully get some prestige out of this, because we're negative 24 prestige right now. Defeat? Oh, they just finished sieging down something. This clan has been fully looted right before we get there. We're still going to teach them a lesson, though. When we do get there, watch out. There we go. So this interface here is very confusing, and I'm not going to try to explain it all, because I honestly don't know all of it. I just let it all happen. And I just hope that my bigger numbers matter more. And, you know, having better commanders is good. Looks like we're pursuing them and making the final captures of their men and killing them. Yeah, that's what you get. Alright. So, we got a victory, and we gained 3 prestige, huzzah, and a little bit of piety, probably for defending, you know, the realm. Some technology points, and there wasn't a war, so there's no war score. And we captured one of their nobles, and they're now my prisoner. I don't know if we can go over here. Yeah, it doesn't do anything, because we're not actually... you know what? These are... Oh, they're gone now. Okay, they're no longer at war with us here. So we'll just go home. We'll send all the troops back. Because it costs me money to keep these troops up. So I'm going to send them back home. Now, I'm hopeful that my my marshal here is going to get together a group of people willing to go raid my enemies, just like they did there, at some point in the future. That's a random chance of that happening. I stood by the stained glass windows and tried to look through them when the priest approached me and asked me what I thought of them. A courtier by my side spoke before I managed to say some very unfair opinions about the multitude of colors used. The bishop has arrested an armed man with ragged armor and a spotty horse. He says the man claims to be a hedge knight, but clearly he does not believe that statement. So, do we order the hedge knight released, which pisses off this particular bishop? And we just said making friends with the bishop will be very important. Or do we gain some prestige but lose piety? What would Indulf do? He's arbitrary. Arbitrary is the one that would apply here. If he had, like, wrathful or something, that's one thing. But arbitrary is the one that applies. So we're going to roll a random die. Odds will take the top. Evens will take the bottom. We got a 6. So clearly that's a bandit. When Bishop Douglas had told the priest what he thought about the stained glass windows, both looked inquiring at me until I croaked something appraising about the windows. Using some of Bishop Douglas's opinions, the priest seemed satisfied, and Bishop Douglas beamed at me. Ah. Okay. One of them likes me a little bit. They approve of my arbitrariness. Okay. That'll do. Alright, sorry about that. I'm getting over a bit of a cold. So I might mute my mic every once in a while to make sure my nose is clear. Alright. We caught our son, MacAlpin, opening one of my letters. Well, we could gain the trait Cruel, or tell him to practice reading. Now, we have the patient trait. I think being patient with our son, we're not going to lose our temper over this. So, He's going to lose some prestige, which is unfortunate, because kids do start with a certain amount of prestige based on their parents, I believe, and then they gain some as they get older. So, for example, we're gaining prestige due to our diplomacy skill. You always gain some because of your current diplomacy. For whatever titles you hold, you get some prestige. And for whatever vassals you hold, you get some prestige as well. What a thrill it would be to hurt them, to hear the sweet screams and to see the panic in their eyes. Oh, jeez. Oil up the rack. You know, I forgot to check. We do have the one prisoner, this guy here. We don't know anything about him yet. Let's see. So, he doesn't have any titles. He's just a commander, like a courtier. He's the heir to the petty kingdom in the north here. So he must be worth something. We could ransom him back. But apparently we're going to wind up torturing him potentially here because nothing here says I shouldn't, and arbitrary suggests I might. So again, I'm rolling the dice, and it's a 1. We're going to resist my foul impulses. Now, we are probably going to ransom this guy back. Oh, we can't ransom him back. Huh. We can't ransom him back because he's not important enough. He doesn't have any titles. So we can execute them or release them. I think we just rolled for releasing them instead of torturing them to death. So we'll release them just to get them out of here. I don't care. They're not important. We have an open council position. The chaplain has died. Bishop of St. Andrews? Sure. And now we might need to reset what he's doing. There we go. Alright, let me get the other camera back up here. I should really just... Yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go and grab an actual set of dice. Hold on one second. Flipping over to the other screen makes no sense. Here we go. All right. A success. Looks like the chaplain has been successful. Managed to make him understand what a benevolent and pious ruler we really are, and he sends his regards. Brilliant. Is that enough to make him pay us? Probably not. We got that improved relations modifier for another 2 years. We could try to take advantage of him by bribing him, but it just wouldn't be worth the money. Oh, we got it again. Yes. Yes, we did. So now we're getting an extra 5 ducats a year from them because we made them like us. So now maybe we could move him somewhere else. No, we have to wait a little while here, unfortunately. Alright, so now I got an actual die. Makes a much more satisfying sound than me clicking on something on the other screen. So that's good. Let's turn that music up a little bit. I overdid it when I thought it was too loud earlier, I think. There we go. So our current goal is to maybe do a raid of that duchy to the north. Tribes of Hungary have been converted to the Catholic faith. God has finally touched them. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to do on this chart. We haven't actually looked at the technology screen. So we're learning a little bit about it. We're getting some leakage from the Byzantine Empire over to here. So we're getting a little bit of increase on each of these. One of the children lacks a childhood focus. Let's send this one to the temple. Yeah, we could think about... there's still no option to try to get a... Now, seeking a tutor isn't interesting, but we have to spend money to do that. I would like to avoid having such a crappy education, but oh well. I feel like spending money on our education to improve ourselves, that would be something we do with a learning trait. And right now we've only got 48 gold, and we really need it to get up to the... Jeez, it takes... we go to Reinforced Hill Fort, then Stone Hill Fort. It's just so time-consuming and expensive to get into the feudal realm. Very nice experience meeting her, and maybe our peoples are not that different after all. We could be friends. Looks like it reconnected for us. This guy likes us because he is the Chancellor. We made him the Chancellor. That's one thing we could do. So we could, like, give these guys honorary titles to make them like us more. So, like, this guy, he's the Chancellor, but I think I can give him an honorary title. He's the Keeper of the Swans, or the Designated Regent gives you a 10. Yeah, sure, let's make him Designated Regent. So now he likes us quite a bit more, because he's the Designated Regent. We'll do that for all of these guys. We'll give you an honorary title. Not the Court Jester, that makes them hate you. Is there another that's a plus 10? I don't think so. Seneschal. Seneschal is plus 10. And maybe you can't send for a doctor, an actual physician, until you've adopted feudalism. Your wife has sent you a gift. It's a small puppy, but of the finest pedigree and destined to grow into a great hunting dog. Of course we'll accept this gift. We gain a plus diplomacy and plus to health. Why would we send it back? I don't think that we need to do anything but accept it. We're humble and we're patient. We would accept this gift. Now, what we call this puppy? Faithful, Hunter, or Tricky? I think Hunter, because we're brave. So now we have a hunting dog to go along with our hunting focus. I believe we might be able to invite people to go hunting with us. Is that one of our options? I don't think so. No. That's just the thing you get when you're carousing. You can invite people to go carousing with you. Hunting is just an event that happens randomly, I believe. Idle council members. So the spy master. What? Were you kicked out of the Byzantine Empire? What happened? Go back in there. Bring the secrets back with you. Oh, wow. England has fractured. East Anglia is now separated. And they are at war with England, it looks like. Yeah, they're attacking that Duchess of East Anglia. They want to revoke Essex from them. All right. Your dog is growing quickly. Your little puppy. He runs as fast and as keen as, and has a keen nose, and he handlers praise his good character. Hey, we got some prestige for having a hunting dog. Awesome. So let's go back. You can see, hey, this guy, all his vassals love him, and look how much gold they're giving him. The English are just so much farther along than we are right now. We've got one vassal giving us money. He's not giving us any because tribal rulers do not give taxes to their lieges. One of the popes died. Oh, you know, that gives us an opportunity because they might like us more now. So let's send... we got to figure out which one we want to send it to. We got to be strategic about this. Oh, no, they do like the new pope. Dang it. So we've got this one. The closest next one is this Lenin guy. So he's the Bishop of St. Andrews. So that's in Fife. So now we've got to see if we can't... oh, but this is the Bishop of St. Andrews, so we can't send him to convince himself that I'm great, unfortunately. So what's the next best choice? If not the Bishop of St. Andrews, then the Bishop of Dunblane. Will he become to like us as much as we want him to? Let's find out. Strategic. Maneuvering. Go. So, one of the interesting things here is we could do a market town 2 to get a tiny bit of tax income. And it will convert to a castle town when upgraded to a castle. I don't know if this would upgrade at all. I think it's for every 2 levels, you get a level of that thing when it upgrades to a feudal society. Oh, okay, we convinced that guy to like us more. So that was this guy. He's now within reach of a bribe, but we're not going to bribe him because it just... The bribe would cost, sending a gift would cost us 25, and yes, he would then give us 5 per year, but the gift would wear off before that point. It's just not worth it. Oh no, this guy stopped liking us. Why did he stop liking us? Oh, because the 40 wore off. Ugh. Okay. We'll just hope this guy can make up for it. I'm going to be saying a lot of this guy and that guy, because I have no memory for these guys' names, except our King Indulf and his heir, Tanist Kenneth of Moray, a kinsman. So really the question is, do we want to upgrade to a village, or do we just want to pour everything into the reinforced hill fort? I think Moray Holy War for Sudrayar on King Olaf of Sudrayar. So I find out what the hell just happened. Oh, this is Sudrayar. Sudrayjar. And I don't remember. Maybe there's something I could have picked originally that decides whether these names change or not. But so he's going to war for this territory. If he's successful, I will actually gain some territory. The Kingdom of Scotland will be expanded, which is good. But right now, this guy, who currently rules this territory and these territories, he's at war with the Duke of Moray, that we're just looking at there, and he's defending against the Osrage. These guys down here are attacking him up here. This is how crazy chaotic the Middle Ages got. And that's why Border Gore just happened. Like, it doesn't matter that you're nowhere near it. Your cousin's brother was the correct heir, and so you make your claim. That's just how it works. And somebody else is also fighting for it. Somebody else, there's like a succession crisis over here, and it's not going well, it looks like. Oh, the guy who owns this actually owns all of this. The king, petty king of Sudrayar, actually owns all of these lands. And that's why this big war is breaking out. So I'm not going to interfere. I'm saving my money. I'm trying to get to feudalism, okay? But I do want to get this extra income from a market town. So I will roll the die and see if we can spend some stewardship money if we're stuck here with this hunting focus. During the last year or so, your son Colin has been spending a lot of time with members of the local monastic order. You've also noticed that he spends many hours a week in pious prayer. Then one day, he asks your permission to dedicate his life to Christ. Well, that presumes that he is not going to be useful to us, is he? No, I suppose not. He's 14, he's the oldest. He gains the trait monk. Where would we go here? Humble. I think we would allow it. With this sets of traits, the way this guy rolls, I think we'd allow it. All right, so we're looking to spend our money to create a market town in the capital here. That's going to be against our current, or, you know, not against, but simply not in favor of. Oh, that's good. Okay, so it is coming out. Okay, there. That's not going to be in favor of our current martial ways. So we're going to have to... We want either a 3 or a 6. I got a 3! All right, so we're getting that market town. Oops. It's going to take a while to build, but it's going to pay for itself eventually. So this is the guy that wanted to become a monk, right? So let's give him that learning education. That's what he's going to need if he wants to be a monk. Maybe he can be our physician in 20 years. Now, Clamam says he loves the game to watch, but he's too much of a failure to play it. Come on, failing is what makes this game fun and dramatic. If you just win all the time, it's not very dramatic. So our friend, the Duke of Moray, seems to be winning the battle over here. That's good. He's losing control of his home area. His chiefdom is being set afire. I don't really mind because he doesn't pay me taxes anyway, so how well that place is doing isn't so bad. I think I'm okay with it. Hey, are you guys having a weird buffering issue? Because YouTube keeps telling me it's getting a buffering issue and not sending enough data to it, and I haven't noticed it myself while watching the stream over here, but let me know if that's the case and I'll try to do something about it. So this is a new child. This is our youngest, I believe. He needs an education focus. It looks like his aptitude is for stewardship or education. Well, we are so far behind. Conquering cannot be further from our mind right now because England is just too damn big, and we need to get there. So let's try to get a random education with a significantly worse outcome than if you select one. So we're selecting that stewardship education for this guy. So they took some money from Moray. Not ideal, but it happens. This is a cool new feature. You can construct these great works. We're not even close to being able to do that, though. We're barely able to upgrade a market town. We still can't get any of these stupid bishops to pay us our damn money. Ah, we could train him personally. Again, I think patient applies here. I have no time for this is kind of the things you say if somebody's not patient. So I think they're going to train the dog personally. Now, I still got this guy. He's trying to raise a bit of a raiding party. It's got a 14% chance each year to get a raiding party together. And we could go and raid and make some money that way. And we could press claims against this guy here, who's currently kind of at a loss because he's fighting these other battles. We could expand our empire, give our make our duke a little stronger. That's the thing I'm a little hesitant about. Oh, we've got a new son or daughter. If we do expand, we can take over this territory, but we're doing so with a casus belli, casus belli, that allows the Duke to take control of it. We're pressing his claim. He's our vassal. He has a claim to that. We're his liege. We're going to press his claim and help him conquer it. But then he's going to be stronger, and I'm not going to be that much stronger. I need to be the strongest Duke. I have to have the strongest duchy of all of my vassals, so that if one of them ever gets ideas... Uh-oh. The omens surrounding my wife's pregnancy are terrible. That can't be good. Alright, you're getting skipping. Let me see if I can't adjust some things here. Alright, I'm lowering the stream rate for both of them. Hopefully that'll solidify things. Usually I never had a problem streaming at this rate, so it's interesting that it's getting some buffering now. Alright, so the market town has been built here. Great. We could build a shipbuilder, which would give us galleys. That would cost us prestige. And honestly, building these with prestige does seem like a good idea if we can get away with it. We don't need the prestige. Oh, here we go. We'll get back to that in a second. We don't need the prestige to impress our vassals. A lot of times if you have a lot of vassals, which sometimes can be pretty strong, the prestige helps keeps them in line. You can see, here's our only vassal that's not a religious vassal, that's not a bishop. And part of his liking me comes from my personal diplomacy, but part of it comes from, actually, I don't even have 200 prestige. When you get 200 prestige, for every 200 prestige you have, they get a +1 modifier to liking you. So if he was in danger of not liking me, then he might try to go to war with me or do some intrigue against me. That's not really a focus. So I do just want to get some prestige so I can improve the tribal capital there. Now, my wife's feeling somewhat gloomy as of late. The burden of her unborn child is surely causing some humoral imbalance that's affecting her mood. I can buy her something nice, which I lose 5 gold, but she's comforted. And I might gain the trait charitable or kind, or I just say she's fine and I lose some piety. I think arbitrary. No, that's about justice. This isn't just justice. This is whatever I want. I think he cares about his wife. We can look here. My opinion of her is 30, so sure. Young Colin finished his education in the ways of faith and learning. I notice with pride that he has attained nothing less than a masterful level of knowledge. Look at that. He's a mastermind theologian. Which means maybe we can make him our resident physician. Oh, we train our trusty hunting dog. You find the combination of daily physical exercise and fresh air doing wonders for your health and constitution. So we gained the diligent trait, which is one of the best traits in the world. Look at that. +1 to everything, basically. So that's going to be great. Hey! We're above 12 now in diplomacy and in martial. Well, martial we're above because that's our focus, but our diplomacy has gone up because of diligent and charitable. We also gained charitable. So now we can do diplomatic choices anytime we want. That's going to get added to our list here. That's now one of our options. We can also re-roll our focus if we want to do something else with our money. That's an interesting choice. So anyway, let's go back and see if we can't make somebody in a port position here. Yeah, we can. Colin Mac Alipin. He's got a commanding knowledge of scripture and learning, and therefore knows how to treat diseases and stuff. That's how that works. But where is he? He's not listed on this anymore, because I think I filtered out... Huh. Oh, Marshall's... We've got raiders. King Indolf's opinion of the bishop changes by 15. Oh, because he's my marshal. I see. The bishop is my marshal. 97-man regiment? These troops will always be raiding. Oh, okay. The daughter was born to our king. Fingola, sure. If the terrible pregnancy was not enough, there seems to be something wrong with my child as well. Oh no! What's wrong? Left-handed? Oh no! She's left-handed! How terrible! What? Left-handed? Okay. Only one tribe in each, I see. That's right. I'm not necessarily trying to create... Well, I mean, I could try to create the United Kingdom of Scotland, sure, eventually. I was planning to, if I can keep the motivation going to play this game all the way through, I was planning to go all the way into Europa Universalis with it and see how that works. Actually have the king leading this raiding party, which is awfully small. Let's see. Raid the counties and holdings other than the rulers for gold. This will cause the ruler to become temporarily hostile. So yeah, we're going to raise our actual army. We don't need a lot of them. How about just these groups can go over there? These ones we'll send back. Because I don't want to pay for them. It doesn't really make sense to, you know, go and raid somebody and come back with less gold than you spent on the troops that you spent there. Underwent her churching after recovering. She's cleansed herself. She feels much better. All right. Let's see. We've got a Jewish exile fleeing persecution elsewhere in Europe. He showed up at our court. He spent time abroad and has gifted him with many connections. And by all accounts, he's an able diplomat. He would make a fine chancellor. Indeed. I think our current chancellor would probably have something to say about that. Alright, I can't have all of these grouped together. Apparently. These can group. So why can't... Unit is in friendly lands. Oh, I have to start... I have to toggle the looting thing while I'm in friendly lands. Then I can loot there? 10% maintenance if you're at peace. Ah, that's what I have to do. Okay. Yes, now I can make this guy into a looter. He's not costing me in maintenance, and we'll send him over here to loot. That's cool. Okay. I haven't played Tribal, really. I just jumped straight into the feudal systems. Has the skipping and stuttering... fixed itself since I made those adjustments, or is it still problematic? So far, I'm getting all lights green on YouTube itself. Hey, we sieged it down, and we gained 2.5 gold. That's the best we could get from this crappy place. See, we looted and burnt it to the ground. Oh. I didn't mean to actually siege it. Oh, I just killed so many men by clicking that. I meant to click this button. Oh, no. That's horrible. Okay. Send him back. Send him back. Okay. Yeah, that was a mistake. Mistakes were made. Let's raise these levies and send them over there instead. And we're going to make them into looters so they can join. And we'll continue looting. We're not going to stop looting. But we're going to stop, you know, charging their fortified hill fort or whatever they got over there. So here the monthly expenses are very low because this is a raiding army. So they're looting as they go. We don't have to pay them. Oh, they've got smallpox. Oh, that's great. I don't have a problem with that, of course. Okay. So I'm not going to hit that. I'm going to hit this because I wanted to see how much money was left in here to be looted. And it's not that much. We can get 12. But, sorry, max was 12. We can get 4 more by defeating the fortifications. Oh, I lost the humble trait because I am pretty great after all. My marshal has brought me the most extraordinary news. Apparently he has uncovered a rumor concerning an exceedingly special artifact. The specifics of Alan's information are uncertain, but he is convinced that there is a degree of truth to the tales. Search at once, Marshal, of course. He immediately begins to search for the artifact. The outcome of the search depends on skills and traits of your Marshal. Okay, he could be okay. Find it. We do, remember, one of our goals is to have items in our treasury. Oh, actually I can leave him leading. What I was trying to open was the treasury, which is right here, and it's empty, so we can't open it. Alright, so we're besieging whatever the bishop, the temple here. Try to take their money. Any sense of discipline is lost, and men start to rob, burn, and pillage. So, we let them have their fun. This is war, after all. National levy size goes up. Their opinion of me goes down, of course. They lose the militia quarters. You know, I'm planning on taking this over. I don't want to destroy the militia quarters. Hey, wait for me. Potentially gets the cruel trait. I will stop this immediately and hang the culprits. 50% chance we regain control of the army, which gives us prestige. And I get strong leader. 50% chance we're unable to stop the killing and destruction, and they lose a barracks instead. And we get weak leader. You know what? I'm brave, and I don't think I'm cruel. So what happened? We got strong leader, so the good thing happened. It doesn't tell you that sometimes. You have to go look. But we've looted and burned everything here, so we can go somewhere else, I guess, and do that. But we're not going to because I don't want to piss anybody else off. One enemy at a time, all right? Everybody's going home. This raiding army, you know, I can disband them? Yeah, there we go. So that was helpful. So what's the council doing now? They're still doing what they were doing before. We're still trying to make this one stupid bishop like me. And so far we haven't had much luck of pushing him over the edge. Ugh. My piety needs to be higher. If I could get more piety, then that would give me some automatic points here. Piety is +3 thanks to our 170. So I think it's for every 50 piety you get a +1 to the church people that like you. And good news, we've got a lot of extra prestige, which we could now spend on something here. So we increase our levy size, specifically give us 40 flat light infantry. Practice range gets us archers. Weaponsmith increases our morale and our levy reinforcement rate. So what does that upgrade to? It converts to a training grounds when upgraded to a castle. He deserves greatness. Go get it. He becomes ambitious. And he and I become bitter rivals. Oh, I don't know about that. I gain the trait stressed and he gains the trait diligent. I think I just need to teach him patience. I get a temporary out of patience thing, but I think teaching my son patience is what I would do here. Charitable, brave, patient, yeah, that's in his nature. He's not super ambitious. He wouldn't be instructing his son to be super ambitious. I just wouldn't. That dog just ain't going to hunt. That's what it comes down to. So now we convert it to a keep, we convert it to this, to that, to whatever, the other thing. Ideally, we get 2, 4, 6, 8. We've already got this Citron training ground. We don't have to upgrade that. We want to get them all to level 2. Because level 1s don't get converted over when you go to feudalism. Level 2s all get converted over into something. My liege, my mission to Stratham has so long been a success. During my visit to the court of Bishop, I seem to have managed to make him understand what makes me great. Yes! Which now suggests that he is paying me an income. Yes! Marshal Allen has experienced a setback in his search for the artifact. He's spending a considerable amount of time following a wrong lead. Ugh. Okay. Well, and now we've got epidemics coming through. Smallpox. I don't think we can build a hospital yet. I mean, yeah, tribal governments can't build a hospital, so... Let's give him a diplomatic education. Oh no, my wife is doing it with the jester. Confront her, confront the jester, or focus on more important matters. I am brave. I think I'd confront her. Let's see what happens. She openly admitted to it! Huh. Swallow my pride or denounce them both. And to think, I gave her that special present that one time. I think we need to denounce them both publicly. Everyone must know. Oh! Apparently I've gained a little bit of smarts. I'm no longer an amateurish plotter. I will be a flamboyant schemer. So my intrigue is now at the point where I can use that however I'd like. This guy's turned into a pretty good ruler overall. He gives me a lot of flexibility. And he's 48 years old. So he's got some time left in him. So we still need some more of that there glory, that prestige. I don't know. I mean, listen. The English will be very rich. But if I go raiding down there, they're going to get pissed at me. Who is this guy? Oh, this is part of the same empire up there. I can go raid that one. That seems like a good plan. The regrettable news that Marshal Allen has experienced another setback? Was that thing even real in the first place? Come on. Come on. Finish their education and stewardship and their Midas touched? Oh, boy. That is excellent. Let's go look at our options now for who we would vote for future inheritance here. Wait a minute. He's locked up. Where is he? What happened? The Duke of Moray has been kidnapped. He's my possible heir? I didn't even know. All right. Well, let's look at the options now. I always love a high stewardship when we're really needing the extra money. So I think I'm going to vote for this guy instead. I'm going to arrange for him something to cover his weaknesses. Diplomacy is kind of weak. She's a little too old. She won't be able to bear that many children, but she does have great statistics, so to speak. That's just a courtier, spy master. Like, ideally, you want your sons to marry princesses. So we could, like, betroth him to this 2-year-old Croatian princess. But, Melisandre. I'm not sure that's the one we want. So we've got a duchess. We can't really see. Then we've got countesses. Yeah. This is a tough pick. Theologian. But man, those are low numbers otherwise. I've got to pick the right wife for this guy. He's my heir. But I can't find any good ones. They shouldn't be that old. 29 might be a little too old. Not enough children-bearing years. She's already pregnant with somebody else, apparently. That's no good. We could pick one who's not quite developed yet, but then we're rolling the dice. Like, this one here, she might turn out to have a good education, but she's gluttonous. This one here's not bad. Underhanded rogue. A betrothal to somebody too young. So here's someone who was also Midas touched. We would just have, like, the greatest money-making empire ever. She's 16. Let's do it. Why not? All right. All right. Everybody come over here. This territory is probably still fairly wealthy. Yeah, the potential loot is 12. That's quite a bit. So let's make sure this is a looting army and we're going in. So we looted the 3 that was at the top here. Now we're looting the rest. This is the way you make money in the Scotland realm. Yeah. This is how you do it. Now there's another that amount. There we go. Now we're looting the last piece. There's nothing else to stop us from looting that. And we drained a try. Okay, let's go over here. Look at that. This is the life here. I don't know. Flay both. I didn't get the option to flay them both. I think it's because I didn't have like wrathful traits or something. Whoa! Hold up! My kinsman is trying to take over my kingdom. He's trying to say his claim on Scotland is better than mine. Alright, well, we're brave. There's no way that we're taking this option. Only one of you is likely to walk away from this alive. So challenge accepted. Oh, this is a duel. This is a high-stakes duel. I didn't actually know that. That's interesting. I keep sidestepping his attacks. Is it worth it, I shout, noticing his face glistening with sweat. The man only growls in response. So be it. Meet your mega kinsman. So it looks like I'm about to win. I win the duel and become the tribal kinslayer, which doesn't... a lot of people don't like me very much if I do that. Or we could make a deal if you would heed my warning, because I'm charitable. So this is almost certainly the one I have to take, because it really fits my character perfectly, because it's from a trait directly. I demand that he forfeit all strong claims he has on any of my titles. I get Merciful Defender, which gives me some extra prestige. Good. Our duel experience increases. Yes, this is a fantastic outcome. He tried to take the kingdom. I showed him put him in his fucking place. And also, while we're on the warpath, I'm conquering all this stuff and stealing all the gold from it. He sees reason. He picks himself up, his weapon scraping against the ground where he seems to leave spirit. The bystanders glare at the man as he kneels before me, mumbling, I ask your forgiveness, my lord. And I could say, you have my forgiveness, and I gain the kind trait. Or I say, know your place, you cruel lecher. Because I'm arbitrary. I think it has to be the first one, because yes, I have arbitrary, but I would lose the patient trait if I spit on his face. How can I justify giving him forgiveness? I don't have the kind trait yet, but because I have charitable and patient and brave, I think that's enough. And we gain a budding friendship with them. He's all bloody. To investigate them, he must venture into distant, inhospitable lands and needs more soldiers. So my national levy size goes down if I give him that. Yeah. Building the treasury is part of my thing, so we're doing it. Alright, so we're looting this. We're getting 4.8 loot, 4.8 gold from where we are. Open council positions. We need a new court chaplain. The best would be our physician's son. Yeah, he could be a chaplain. Why not? Because the good news is he can ingratiate anyone Oh my god, these guys really love the Pope. Alright, the Bishop of Dunkeld is that one. So that's what I have my son convince that one to like me. What did I just say it was? Okay, the capital. Sure. So if he can just convince this temple guy, this bishopric, to like us more, we'll get some more money. A traitor working with the besiegers has eroded the morale of the defenders. Ah, good. All the better. Because there's still another 9 loot hidden behind here. Or 4 loot protected by the other piece. Idle council members. The spy master was kicked out again. What else can we do? Build a spy network. Vicious rumors spread. Increasing the likelihood of intrigue events against that particular ruler. We don't have a particular duke under us that we're worried about. Thugs attack the spy master. Sabotage a province. We're not really needing to do that. Yeah, we'll continue our study technology thing. And usually it's... I haven't really looked, but I'm sure that it's still Byzantine Empire's the furthest along at this point in the game. Alright. So now we've beaten that. Now we just need to take the loot. We're looting it right now. You can see it's draining over time. Fairly slowly, though, which is interesting. Because it's further away, maybe? Oh, gosh, our incompetent steward. I tell you what, my son and heir would make a much better steward than this guy. Let's look into doing that. Let's find it. Where is it? This steward's getting fired. He's only at 12? This is your best steward? No. No. This guy, he's the best steward. And... Building Legend increases our monthly prestige by plus 1.5. Wow, that significantly increases it. Administering the realm is great, but I think building the legend is what we need. We're still at Marshall, right? Marshall's still one of our options here. We're going to use it to get one of these options. Light infantry, archers, retinue size. This is already at level 2, so we don't need to do that. Let's get some more archers. And then we'll save up some more prestige to get the rest of these. We've got the money to upgrade the wooden hill fort as well, which we might do in the near future. It takes a long time to loot this. It was way faster to loot the one right next to us, and I wonder if it's a distance thing. Does anybody know? I haven't done this looting thing before. Okay, look it up very quickly in the... Some is protected by walls. Looted freely. Speed of looting depends on the size of your raiding party, up to 500, and the max loot in the province. It takes 100 days to fully loot a province, although your raiders will usually have to pause when they encounter fortifications. So it's just a timing thing. It's just always 100 days. I think I had it going faster before, which is why it looked like it was going faster. But 500 was the most we need. We don't need 2,000 to raid with. We're still doing it, don't get me wrong. I don't want to lose that army. It's being led by the king. Young Eochaid is very easily satisfied and obviously lacking in ambition. He becomes charitable, or he can only be himself. He loses the trait affectionate and gains the trait content. Content. Not much going on. Let's leave this up to chance. 50-50. He can only be himself. That's what it comes down to. I can see Eochaid could use some guidance and some of my experience in areas that will require hard work and may not always be appreciated, but this is my chance to make a self-sacrifice for the sake of my child. He deserves greatness. Be thorough, so he would gain diligent, or he must learn on his own. I've got diligent, don't I? I do. Again, we're going to teach him what we know. I have unlanded sons, which means I could take over some territories and give that to them. Ah, the kids love the dog. I like getting the dog, but then I always get so sad when it dies. It's a game that takes place over 400 years or something. It's gonna die eventually. So I was like, I don't want to get the dog. This seems to be taking more than 100 days, isn't it? It feels like it's been well over a year. Looting this is just very slow. Every 4 days, max loot times 0.04. Okay. While all this time spent outside is undoubtedly good for my health, it has not worked as well for my looks. Oh. I'm uncouth? Look out. He's uncouth. He's old, too. He's 51 now. And that traitorous wife of his, I should throw her in the oubliette. Oubliette? In prison. Not yet. We're charitable. We'll let it be. He claims to be on the right path, but apparently progress is slow. He asked for the best scholars to aid him in his efforts. Yeah, we gotta go for that. You know that's our main goal. Alright, I think we've thoroughly looted this place, basically. Let's take these guys back. And, stop with the raiding. Invite to plot. Blessings upon you and your house. Would you like to back our plot to kill Sweeney? Who's Sweeney? My rival. A commander. Sweeney's that jester! Oh. Oh, how did you know I wanted to kill Sweeney? Yeah. That 44-year-old young'un. Let's join that plot. Oh, I lose the trait stressed because the dog helped me get rid of my stress. I can righteously imprison Sweeney and Queen Gwydlis the Unfaithful. But we're trying to kill Sweeney. That might be enough punishment for her. This pleases me. He's excelled in his studies. Charismatic negotiator. Okay. We got a nice diplomat for a son as well. This guy has got very strong religious sentiments. He should be learning to become kind. Yeah. Yeah. The smuggler's ring in the capital has been destroyed. Thank you. The head of the last smuggler is now rotting on a pike outside the city gates. That's what we wanted to see. Alright. We'll get at least one more of these, and then we'll upgrade the wooden hill fort to a reinforced hill fort. Bishop Allen has arrested an armed man with ragged armor and a spotty horse. He says the man claims to be a hedge knight. This is again the situation where we had the arbitrary justice going on here. So let's do the odds-evens situation. Odds is number 1, means we release the hedge knight and we gain some piety. That guy stops liking me, though. Oh, look at that. The Bishop of Dunblade. He's so close. Can I award him an honorary title? Is that enough to make you like me? Yes, so theoretically he should be giving me his income. Apparently one of the courtiers has been annoying my wife, and instead of asking me for help, she took the matter into her own hands and made sure the courtier would never annoy her again, or he would know the consequences. Who is it? What on earth was she thinking? Malcolm. Malcolm's the Duke. I need him to like me. So there we go. Hey, we're getting some money. There we go. From that bishopric. See you later, John Walker. Advice on where you can buy CK2. Yeah, the Humble Bundle is exactly where you want to get it, Joe Brewy. It's, you can get the whole thing for $15. The base game and, like, all the DLC. I don't know what's missing, but it's a lot of the DLC is in there. Should have mentioned that up front, actually. Letters have been sent out to the whole Catholic world from the Vatican. The Pope has demanded a stop to the beatification of sinful people and revoked the rights from the rest of the clergy to do so. The granting of beatification will be given out by the Pope personally. The Vatican will no longer stand more shameful examples like the wrong beatification of this guy. Now only the truly pious followers of Christ will be granted the reverence of faith. Huh. Recent ecclesiastical disagreements have brought a lack of faith in the authority of the church. His opinion of me. There's the moral authority. There we are. I don't know what the moral authority actually does. Alright, we're going to move that guy's position. He's no longer going to be trying to sway the that bishop. Where's another bishop that's close? This one's close. Can I give you an honorary title to get you over the top? Yes, I can. Okay, great. Lots of people seem to like us. This one's really far away, though. But we can try. Athol. So let's send you to Athol to make them like us. This is my left-handed daughter. What kind of focus should she get? I think she should get... She should show them all that she can do better than they think. Just because she's left-handed, she can't swing a sword. Get out of here. You know, in my old age, I feel it's important that I give one of my sons ambition. Let's do it. Steady progress in the search for the artifact. Good, good. Okay. Are we going to find it before my king dies? It's been like 10 years, Marshal. What are you doing? So one of the things we can do with diplomacy, actually, is adjust our realm's laws. We will need higher tribal organization and centralization in order to get to a feudal state, I believe. So let's see. Yeah, there we go. Now we can do this, which increases our domain size, and our vassal limit actually goes down a little bit. But that's fine. We don't need a lot of vassals. We only have one vassal right now. These guys will even be in favor of it. So that's good. So that had to happen eventually. So what else did we need to adopt feudalism? So we need absolute organization, and the capital holding has to have a stone hill fort. So that's what we have to do. So tribal organization has to be at max, I believe. Yep, allows adopting feudalism. So I should have probably started this process sooner, but we didn't have that diplomacy ability. Now we do have a very high diplomacy in the end. All of these virtues are helping us a lot. We are uncouth, which, you know, makes attractive people not like us. Our scholars are occupied, so we're not getting a lot of technological flow here. Yum Duncan is developing a kind disposition towards others. Is he charitable or kind? Kind. There we go. The Lords of Scotland have approved my law choice. Now, we can't do another one for a while. September 955, so 5 years from now. We could try to change our focus. Our martial focus isn't necessary anymore. One of these other ones could be better, so let's give it a shot here. I'm going to roll the dice. Ah, I got a 6. I get to choose. Fantastic. I think we're going to double down on stewardship. Specifically, business can give you some really good stuff. City vassal opinion. Actually, temple vassal opinion would wind up working better for us right now because it would give us more money. We're real close on this one. If I give you the cupbearer title, that should update as soon as we get going here. The people of Constantinople have progressed beyond our own technological level. I've managed to study their advancements of the documents enclosed and should help us reach their level. So we gain some technology points. Yay, and we get prosperity in our capital. There we go. Look at how much more money we're getting right now. We basically tripled our income by taking that particular focus. Another setback in the art... Okay, maybe this artifact never was real. That's what I'm worried about. We do have a technological advance here in the cultural realm. So, this one... Feudal vassals like us more by an extra +3 over what they've got now. City vassals like us more. Religious vassals liking us more. As we just noticed, very important. We could also increase our piety and prestige gain, and it would make people like us faster when we have a new king. The court size goes to +7. That's interesting. I don't know what court size is, actually. I'll look that up. Tolerance. We don't have any cultural difficulty problems. Legalism. This is actually kind of important, though. I'm pretty sure we need... Oh, centralization is blocked by legalism, but this is not. This can go all the way up here without any legalism problems. Okay. So legalism is a good thing to get. But I think we want to start with the religious customs here. So that is useful. And, oh, we have an advisor slot open, which we can actually use to make people like us if they don't like us already. The advisor slot is really just somebody that we can put on the council who is going to be happy just to be on the council, and it's going to be essentially an extra vote in our favor if we pick one of these loyalists. So let's pick Findlay, one of the commanders of Scotland. Now we've got 3 loyalists in the council. They'll vote for my way almost every time. The Zealot will vote in a particular way every time. Glory Hounds have their own way of voting. Did we actually imprison that guy? Did that plot happen? Apparently not. We could hold... Oh, we've got a pregnant wife at age 50 or something. That's interesting. A great tribal festival. The prosperity of your capital increases slightly. What else could we do here? Can't compose a book because we're probably too dumb. Yep, the learning's too low. We could go on a pilgrimage, but I don't think we feel the need to. If we had high learning, I might consider it. I just can't afford to spend the money on this stuff. we're going to upgrade the hill fort here. Upgrading to the Market City 3, not super great because it's not going to change. We're always going to get a castle town no matter what. So, we'll do that. And I think that's where we're going to end it here. We'll pick this up maybe later on tonight, maybe tomorrow. One of those two for sure. I'll put it up on the stream. My throat's feeling a little bad here because my cold is still hanging in there. So why don't we say tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern time, right around the same time we started today is when we'll pick it up tomorrow. And I hope by then my throat will feel a little better. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.